Hi, I'm Brian Shaw, certified diabetes educator here at Sacramento Native American Health Center. Welcome to another celebratory episode of Healthy Living. It's the holiday time of year, so we've prepared for you a special, comprehensive episode chock full of healthy eating tips for the holidays. Check it out. Today, because it's appropriate for the time of year, we're going to talk about healthy eating tips during the holidays. And I have brought back with me Dr. Farhangfar. He's going to talk to us about some healthy eating tips for the holidays. Welcome, Dr. Farhangfar. Thank
Hi
you for being
Brian,
here.
how are you doing?
Good.
Happy holidays. We have put together some tips for you as you go through the holiday season to help you keep healthy and fit.
Perfect. I counted 16 tips. Is that your intent?
Yes, that's
Perfect.
about right.
So let's check out Dr. Farhangfar's 16 tips for healthy eating during the holiday time.
Perfect, thank you. This is very challenging time of year because all the stress and all the food and all the good things that are happening, but it also it's a field uh, of challenges for a lot of people. So I put together this talk to kind of help my patient navigate through this minefield and be able to stay healthy. So we see a lot of patients come in February and January and February coming in wanting to lose weight. So if we can preemptively prevent that from happening, I think that's going to help a lot of people. So it's important. These are just very common sense, but unfortunately, sometimes we forget to practice the common sense. One thing that I recommend people is make sure you get something to eat before you go. Some people don't eat the regular meals. They're trying to save room for the holiday festivities, and sometimes when we get too hungry, we have a tendency to overeat. So I usually recommend people to eat something before going to the party. And proteins are very important to help with your appetite. So if you can get something like a peanut butter or a slice of cheese, or eat something whole wheat bread or pita bread, that would help you a lot. It's also important to make sure that you're sticking with your regular eating pattern as much as possible. Some people skip breakfast, and it's very hard to lose weight if you're not eating a good breakfast. And obviously you want to try to avoid heavy carbs. You don't want to eat a lot of bread or pasta or sweet or juice or anything that has a lot of sugar in it. So healthy fats, proteins, those are good to fill you up and get you through the day. So by the time you get to the party, hopefully you're not so hungry that you want to eat everything in sight. So you want to try to maintain a steady blood sugar level. When your blood sugar levels goes down too low, then your brain gets activated to try to eat more, and that causes problems. So it's better to try to have a steady state blood sugar level. Um, then make sure you have some food in your stomach, and also make sure you bring something healthy to the party. If you're invited to a party, uh, obviously you want to check with the host, but it's a good idea to bring something healthy to share with with others. And you know if you're setting a good example for other people, then you benefit from that. You're eating healthy, and other people can also benefit as well. So again, same thing, bringing something healthy to share. And if you have any dietary restriction, or if you're a vegetarian, or if you have to stick with a low salt diet, or if you have to have a specific food, then by all means try to bring that, and also share good things to bring. Roasted vegetables, they're all good. Carrots, peppers, onions, they're all good. You can't really go wrong with vegetables. The other thing that I tell people is to imagine your plate as a circle. Half of your plate is going to be your greens and vegetables, A quarter of your plate is going to be your protein, so lean cuts of meat, turkey, chicken, fish, whatever is served, and then a quarter of your plate is going to be your carbohydrates. These are like whole wheat bread or whole wheat pasta or something that has more fiber to it. So when you're sitting down trying to imagine, how I'm going to eat this, and if you can imagine that circle and the ratios like that, that sometimes help people make better choices. Also, salads, olives, lemon juice, cucumbers, lemons. These are all good to bring and share with other people. Um, Also, obviously, there's going to be a lot of treats, a lot of sweets. It's One thing you want to follow is a 3-bite rule. If you have to eat something, just take 3 bites, and then try to um, not overdo it with the carbohydrates, because when you eat a lot of carbohydrates, your body will try to lower your blood sugar, and the way it does that is tries to make a lot of insulin. Insulin causes all the sugar to go directly into your liver and your other organs and get stored as fat, and once it's there, it's very hard to get rid of it. um, and then the other problem is once the blood sugar drops, then you crash and then you feel tired and you feel hungry and you want to eat more. So the cycle just continues. So the carbohydrates are not bad in and of themselves, but it's just making better choices with the simple sugars. They get absorbed very quickly. There are also starches, which is more complex molecules of sugar bound together. And then we have fiber, which is an indigestible form of sugars. So usually we recommend between 45 to 65% of your calories. If you're not diabetic, if you're diabetic, you probably want to restrict that a little bit. So just be mindful of your carbs. Probably that's the main thing that gets people into trouble. Eating too much carbohydrates and eating too much sugar, eating too much simple sugar, then it's going to be a challenge. Try to get rid of that later on. Um, a lot of times, people make a mistake. They may overeat, or they may overdrink, or they make they, for whatever reason, they're not able to stick with their diet, and then they feel bad and they feel guilty and they feel that, okay, now everything is lost, so what's the point? I might as well just enjoy myself. But that's really not a good attitude, not a good way to think about it, because even if you make a mistake, every nobody is going to be 100%. You're going to make mistake, and this is a time of year that I think we should focus on enjoyment and having fun. And there's no food police that is going to come and issue a ticket, or they're not going to throw you in jail. It's just something that people want to be healthy and they want to have good energy. They want to be able to enjoy the festivities, be able to enjoy the party, and they don't want to feel bloated and get uncomfortable. So if you do make a mistake, that's fine. Everybody's going to make a mistake. Don't beat yourself up. The worst thing you can do is to feel guilty and try to beat yourself up over it, and then it's just going to make the bad situation worse. Um, so once you realize that you make a mistake, try to go back and try to get back on track with your regular way of eating that you were following before. Um, Sometimes people eat more food than they should, um, but or they may not be able to exercise. It's cold outside. They sit down with the movie, or there's a sport game on, and they just want to sit down and enjoy themselves, and it's hard because that combination of too much food and too little activity is going to cause problems down the road. The other thing is, if you can, try to sit down and eat. Try to put yourself at ease. Try to be in a relaxed state of mind. That's very important. Studies have shown that people that are distracted or they're standing, they have a tendency to overeat. Sitting down also is helpful. If you're with your family and you want to, catch up with what's going on with your kids or your other family member, it's good to be able to sit. And people would eat less, if they're in that situation. Um, you can't really go wrong with vegetables. Make sure, again, half of your plate is vegetables, fruits, and greens. Also, the vegetables are full of fiber and they have a lot of nutrients, vitamins. So these are good to not only curb your appetite, but also um, give you the vitamins and nutrients that you need. Apples are a good example of this. They're full of soluble fiber, and they also doesn't spike your blood sugar like eating a piece of candy. And they use a lot of energy because of the chewing process, and they just have a lot of beneficial effects. Sweet potatoes, they have undigestible starch. Which stay in your gastrointestinal tract, and they help. They're full of vitamins, so they help with regulating your bowels, and they're also a good source of nutrients that your body needs. So the key is, to try to eat high quality food instead of just eating a whole bunch of sugar, fat, and salt, which is going to ultimately cause problem. Eating slowly is also very important, but from the time that you eat something, by the time your brain understands that you have food in your stomach, usually takes about 20 minutes. So if you don't give yourself enough time, then your brain doesn't get the signal that your body is full, and it's going to continue eating, and that can lead to overeating and gaining a lot of extra calories that we don't need. Um, Also, taking time to stop between the meals and enjoying and savoring your food. I think that's very important. Asking yourself as you're eating, am I still enjoying this? Am I full? Do I need to continue with this? If the answer is no, then maybe you should take a break. Just stop eating. Um, so the speed which you eat your food has a direct relationship on your overall health. People that are eating fast have a tendency to become overweight. Eating slower and just eating more mindfully will help reduce your stress level. Slowing down causes relaxation and also helps with the digestion of the food. So just take your time and don't be in a hurry to finish and go back for the seconds. Another problem area in during this time of year is alcohol. Alcohol has a lot of empty calories and a lot of empty sugar, and drinking too much alcohol causes a lot of problems. A lot of it's a third leading modifiable risk factor for death in this country, and it's a big problem. So especially if you're on blood pressure medication, or if you're diabetic, you're taking diabetes medication, or you have liver problems or kidney problems, drinking alcohol is going to be a problem. It's going to interact with your other medication. It's going to reduce your blood sugar level. It's going to cause a bunch of problems. So if you are going to drink, the recommended intake is 2 drinks or less a day for men and one or less for women. So if you're going over that, then that could potentially cause problem. And the other thing is that if you're consuming alcohol with food, that has a tendency to slow down the absorption of alcohol. And if you mix that with other ingredients, then you're asking for trouble because there's more calories. Wine, beer, mixed drinks, they have quite a bit of calories, so, and very little or any nutritional value. So best thing to try to avoid it if you can. If you have to, try to limit your intake. Try to drink with food. It also stimulates your appetite and also impair your ability to control what you eat. So there's a lot of potential problems with alcohol. So be careful with that. If you're diabetic, you may have to check your blood sugar more frequently because of the problem that I just mentioned with either too much eating too much sugar, too much food, too much alcohol, and the effect of the medication. You may have to check it 3, 4 times a day, especially if you become symptomatic. If your blood sugar starts going too low, then you get hypoglycemic, and then you get dizzy, sweating, chills. You may get confused, and or if your blood sugar is going too high, then you may get blurry vision. You may get excess urination, or you may get thirsty a lot because you're just dumping a lot of sugar in your urine, and your body is going to get dehydrated. So if you're diabetic, just take extra precautions, and make sure that you're not overdoing it. When you're having a good time at the party. So the whole point is, you want to have a time that is enjoyable. You want to have fun. You want to be with family and friends, and you don't want to make this to a ordeal for yourself. So um, the main thing for me is to just focus on what is the festivities are all about, and why we're there. We're there to celebrate holidays, and be with friends and laughters and cheers. And you don't have to make this a time that is just going to derail all your effort, hard work that you put into it during the year. So just make it fun, but also be mindful of what you're putting in your body. So, listen to yourself, try to pace yourself, relax yourself, take big, deep breath, and just try to have fun. Don't expect too much from other people. If they're acting a certain way, they causing a stress for you. Sometimes people, when they get stressed out, they tend to overeat. So also, it's important to eat the kind of food that you can only get around the time of holidays. You can always eat French fries and pizza and other food any time of year, but there's certain foods that are special to this time of year. Um, so just because the food is served doesn't mean that you have to partake on eating that food. Kind of have to be picky about what you're putting in your body. You have to be mindful. If you have high blood pressure, you have to be mindful of your salt intake and your sodium intake. You don't want to necessarily put a lot of salt in your body that it's going to mess with your blood pressure. Same thing with your diabetes. If you have diabetes, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to eat healthy, just have to be mindful of your goal. Again, instead of putting the focus on the food, put the focus on the reason for the celebration, and why we're there. Um, Obviously, food is very important, has a huge role in our lives, and it's a center of festivities. This time of year, and we want to be able to enjoy it, but we also want to maintain our good health. So we want to eat good quality food. We want to eat food that are fresh and are organic if we can get it. We also want to eat more high quality food instead of just eating a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of sugar that may or may not necessarily help us with our weight loss goals or staying healthy in general. So making better choices, I think that's the key to getting through the holidays and having fun and enjoying it, and at the same time making sure that we're not overdoing it. So again, eating mindfully is very important. Make sure that you ground yourself. Make sure you take deep breath, and slow down. Being mindful and being grateful for the situation that you're in. Appreciating your food. Chewing slower, so you can appreciate the texture and the flavor of the food, and just give yourself time, enjoy the conversation, enjoy the environment, and try to make it fun. And what else? Taking smaller bites, just chewing thoroughly and eating slowly. Those are all good habits to get into for this time of year and for any time of year. Socializing is important. For some
Mhm.
people, that could be a source of stress. So you have to kind of pick and choose, I guess, people that want to be around. Sometimes you don't have any choice in that, but you have control over your own reaction to people that may irritate you. um, the other thing is, make sure that you get some exercise in. The sooner you can do it, the better. Even if it's a 5-minute walk around the neighborhood. um, just have fun. Get the kids involved, get your friends involved, and just have fun. um, so that's kind of some ideas to think about. Again, if you're hosting the party, you can have the healthy food available for your guests, and then you can encourage people to um, talk to each other and have fun, and also enjoy the food. That's obviously a big part of the whole process, so that's good to have. Also, how you prepare your meals is very important. If you're putting a lot of butter, or if you're putting a lot of sugar and heavy cream, baking and broiling is usually better. But you also want to be mindful of how you're preparing. You can have a healthy piece of meat or vegetables, but if you're not preparing that correctly, then that defeats the whole purpose. So this is the example of what I'm talking about, lightening up your recipes. You can use substitution to help reduce the calories. For instance, you can use applesauce instead of fat in baking goods, as an alternative to margarine or oil or butter. You can also use vegetable broth, low sodium vegetable broth instead of oil or butter in your stir fry or for your sauces. So you have to get creative and use your imagination, but there are some good uh, substitution techniques that you can use. The other thing is, if you serving chicken or turkey, a lot of times people keep the skin on to keep the moisture in the meat. But that meat, that skin has a lot of calories and it's loaded with saturated fat. So you want to try to remove it before serving it. And also using the spices and other flavoring, like citrus fruits or vegetables, to spice up your food instead of just adding a lot of salt. And a lot of store bought dressings and store-bought sauces are not healthy. They just add a lot of chemicals and a lot of ingredients that are not necessarily good for you. So if you make it at home, obviously you have some control over what you're putting in your food, so that's better. Again, you can use high flavored cheeses instead of the mild flavored cheeses. So sharp cheddar, or you can use low sodium feta cheese, um, and they make it dish very tasty, but they're also healthier. So these are some ideas. Fat-free half and half instead of heavy cream. Also, when you marinate your meat, you want to use homemade spices, and also use vinegar and a lot of spices. You can use as much spice as you want. Um, Fruit juices and wine, you can use that for tenderizing your meat, and also cutting up your meat in small strips. That will help with the marination. Again, there's a lot of sugary holiday drinks that are being served this time of year. To Starbucks, and other places. To just be mindful that um, could be a potential problem because they're loaded with sugar. There's some examples of that. Some of the favorite drinks this time of year. So pina colada has 28 teaspoons of sugar, 880 calories. So it could potentially be a problem. Again, the whole point of this talk is to make your holiday season fun. Enjoy yourself, have fun with your friends and family, and try to make it a healthy holiday season as well. Just have healthy food available for your friends and family, and just enjoy it and focus on having fun.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Farhangfar, for sharing tips with us about eating healthy during the holidays. What can you tell us in conclusion?
So I hope that you enjoyed that few tips that I put together for you. I want to re-emphasize that this is a season for having fun and family and getting together and enjoying yourself. Um, just be mindful of your diet and try to get out and do some exercise. It's going to be fine. Don't create too much stress for yourself, and you're going to be fine.
Excellent. Happy holidays to everyone. If you want more health education videos, you can watch and subscribe to Snack's YouTube channel. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Alrighty, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.